Hello everybody and welcome to the Fishin, Michigan 100 at Michigan International Speedway. I am joined here with my co-host Connor Meyer.
Hello.
And we have got 40 cars to start the race off here today. We're going to go through the field after our dramatic Eldora race. Starting on the front row is Russ Blackwell getting his first pole in FARCA, starting alongside Todd Castile in his AAA 99.
Starting third, we have Arthur Xavier with Scott Porter starting fourth.
Titus Strobelatter brings up row number 3, starting alongside Todd Castile's teammate, Andrew Weisbecker.
Then we have Austin Yoakum starting alongside his teammate, Joey Sanders.
And then the 62 car, Joseph Onesto, starts alongside the other teammate to the Toyotas, that is Connor Meyer, the 29.
We have another pair of teammates with Kyle Keith starting alongside J.R. Lemon.
Some Dodge cars to follow behind that. That is the Red Bull Dodge of Biggert Johnson starting alongside the 87 of Louis McClure from Western Auto Racing.
The first Ford starting 15th is Brad Smith alongside the 91 of Tim Salmon.
Behind them is even more Dodges. Anissa Johnson and her 27 Dodge starting alongside Jay Langelier in the number 19 Pennzoil Dodge.
Justin Osborne starts along his teammate Ryan DeLusso.
And behind DeLusso is Edward Manning starting alongside Kenny Bumpura in the Penske Logistics Ford.
Then we have Brett Pritchard in the number 51, starting along last week's winner, Aaron Douglas.
Douglas is another Dodge. That is the number 9 of Benjamin Thomas in the Jiffy Lube 9, starting alongside Scott Vickers in the Pedigree Toyota.
And we have Brandon Crasta alongside of Timothy Weathers.
And behind Crasta and Weathers is Evan Coward in the 83. And then we have the replacement for the 30 car of Spencer Davis. That is Chris Moore starting in the 30.
And then we have Big Man alongside of Aaron Gabron.
Behind them is Trent McPherson starting alongside Caitlin Murray.
Jonathan Rains alongside of Quinn Izzo.
And surprisingly, starting this far in the back, that is Thor Gunnarsson in the 1 car, starting alongside last place, the 15 of David Walsh. So, Mr. Excitement, after a insane Eldora, one thing that we have to look out for is the Toyota versus Dodge battle.
And specifically, our two teams going against each other.
So what sparked this up was the first wreck incident of what was dubbed at the time the Dodges just being maniacs. Anissa Johnson dumped one of the Keith Motorsports cars, and that followed suit with retaliation from Toyota, basically trying to put Dodge in its place. What happened there was then Toyota versus Dodge.
Start your engines.
Western Auto Racing versus Meyer Toyota Racing, and they just kept going back and forth. There was even some parts where Western Auto Racing was wrecking themselves, and it ended up being a win for Aaron Douglas, but a close second for Connor Meyer. So going into this one, now we get a big battle.
Those two teams finishing first and second with a bunch of wrecked race cars.
So many cars left that weekend on a record, but it should be quite interesting as to what may happen tonight. We're dropping the green flag tonight. Russ Blackwell in his green ethanol car will lead the Fishin, Michigan 150 laps, 100 miles.
And this is the second to last race of the chase.
We hit 4 wide in the corner. Sanders in the 36 is in the wall. They are 4 wide right there. 2 lanes of 4 wide cars. Corner in the wall, but he saves it. A crazy start to this race. They fan out, but the field keeps it together. Meyer with the big gain on that one. He advanced quite a few spots to start off this race.
Yeah, that finish last week barely put him in the chase.
We have a big group of cars here towards the back of the field. I think this is where we'll see a wreck. There's just, yep, there they go. Crafton spinning around with Big Man. The 78 involved. 12, 8, 71. 28, 30, and 83 all involved. I saw that one coming.
A lot of Fords in that wreck.
A lot of Fords. That's a tough break for the beginning of this race for Ford. They've not had good luck all year, man.
I think they have one win, and that was Daytona.
So what started this was the 93 of Kevin Campbell pushed the 63 into the corner and got into, if you look right there in the middle of your screen, right there, the 21 gets hit by the 63, starts the spin but recovers and collects into the 35. Behind them, if you look behind them, the one car spun the 77 into the 78, and they went around. But to continue off with the wreck, they just went into the wall from there. Big Man got collected. That also, the 30 had nowhere to go. I mean, Chris Moore, bit of an experienced driver. The 28 actually got off the ground there for a second. Of course, not to always push this button, but Krasta involved.
Poor Krasta.
95 Edward Manning has pulled off the track from that wreck. Potential straggler just involved, but the rest of them seem to be doing all right. The 5 car, J.R. Lemon, scored as your leader, with Xavier following behind. That's, I just don't think he is pitted yet.
Now we're talking about Chris Moore in the 30 car this week and the rest of the season.
And what happened there was a very violent wreck heading into turn 1, and was it actually in the feature race?
Yes.
So in the feature race, he was spun out at 105 miles an hour, entering the corner, so he never had a chance to slow down. As soon as he caught the marbles, the car started to flip, and he hit the car against the roof on the guardrail at 87 miles an hour and received a mild concussion. It was enough to wind him as well, so he was taken straight to the hospital from the race, and from there he was given the clear to not race for the rest of the season because of the extension of the wreck. He is actually still in the hospital an entire week later. It's just doctors wanted to be sure he is okay. He's lost coordination because of how bad this concussion is. So we're talking about the guy who was leading the points winless. So it's a very tough, it's a very sad break to him.
Yeah, here's hoping that he can, come back next year and hopefully have this be the same sort of competitiveness that he had this year.
Well, if he's not pitting, That's interesting for Lemon to be doing as well, quite early on, especially with the characteristics of this package coming from the actual NASCAR race that just happened in Kentucky. They used a special compound that's basically was sticky on the track. We are trying that same thing here today, but have done it in layers. So the upper portion of the racetrack has the most. There's a medium compound on the middle part of the track where you see it being mostly black. And then none of the compounds at the bottom of the racetrack. So as you see, drivers are mainly picking that mid portion, but entering the corner, they're not letting off and using the outside. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. They're trying to spread the field out, use the whole racetrack, which gives better passing.
And as you saw, that 4 or 5 wide, I mean, the drivers are literally forcing every inch they can of the racetrack. Michigan's a wide track, and they're able to use the whole thing here right now, which it's very nice, especially with the kind of racing it's generating. I mean, sure, we had a wreck as early on as we did, but it was a recipe created from the intense racing we just had. Pace car heads down the pit road. We are waiting for J.R. Lemon to lead us to the line. Xavier goes immediately to the outside in his 86.
And Austin Yoakum's going to follow him up there also.
Lewis McClure, nice rebound on this race. He is trying to get his way into the top 10 right now.
Yeah, he was one of those cars last week that had issues with his teammate.
That was with Trenton McPherson, who was kind of struggling in this race. They both were very sternly threatened by the owner of the team to get their act, being the fact that they totaled multiple race cars in those races.
Neither one of them made the final, and they kind of just took their frustration out on each other.
Cost them a lot of points, cost them both the championship run. Luis knows he has to win and he wants to stay in the team. And wow, what a save by Todd. The 60 car Deluso almost just spun him out, but what a save those two had.
And then we were racing like it's the last lap.
And then hang on, Big Rick Johnson, can he save it? He does. Outstanding driving, we stay green. That was impressive.
That was the 55 of Blackwell.
That was a return favor from Eldora. As Keith Motorsports was one of the first ones to get dumped. A bit unfortunate, but man, what a save! Still some smoke from what happens. Lemon falling off Titus, leading the race. This is exactly what he needs in order to get himself into the chase, is another win. So this is exactly where he needs to be.
But right behind him is Yoakum, who already has 2 wins on the season.
Now, I know you're a man of stats, and here's an interesting stat. The last time Dodge won, they won the next race. They went back to back, and look what's going on. We've got a Dodge-dominated race going on here. But yes, here's Yoakum, as you mentioned, 2 red cars leading the race. And there he goes.
Right behind him is another Dodge.
Keeping an eye
Multiple Dodges.
On a car that was a little bit more towards the latter half of the top 10. He was our last race's second place. That was Connor Meyer. What is he doing? He just cut off the whole field. That was Benjamin Thomas in the 9 car.
He's going to cause another wreck.
I think he has a problem.
Well, he
pulled off
was
the
on the pit
racetrack,
road
like,
for a while. Came
that
back
happened.
out, cut the field in half, and pitted again.
I was just gonna say Connor Meyer after the first pit stop had recovered, but that kind of just killed that whole bottom line groove and lost his bottom. But he's got a fast race car today. I'm sure he could build that back up. Back towards the front of the field, Titus has regained the lead, and Nissa Johnson following suit. Yoakum, though, 16. Now, those two drivers wrecked each other at Eldora. She dumped Yoakum in the main.
Well, Yoakum was involved in pretty much every single wreck.
He was. He managed to keep that car together.
It looks like we have about 3 packs now.
His first leading pack, Titus, just fell off. Or did he? No, my bad. He checked out. I'm not paying attention. Luis also moving up there. That's another Western Auto car. They're running both packs. Tim, what? Look at all these Dodges, man. The whole top 5.
Well, it turns out whenever they're not wrecking each other, they're actually pretty fast.
Whenever they're not wrecking anything, they seem to be just doing fine. Yoakum, though, very impressive with his run today. He needs some help, though. The next Toyota is Scott Vickers, and that's outside the top 10.
Yeah, the 9 car coming up and blocking half the field definitely did not help.
I'm not sure what went wrong with the 9 car. He has currently scored 3 laps down, not a failure being marked so far, nothing reported from that race team. Notice these cars that they've been pack racing with 2 cars at a time. The tandem racing has made a sort of a return. Drivers using that to their advantage to help out through the straightaways. Not so much through the corners, but they can really hook these cars up going down the backstretch.
The 10 and the 91 are trying to make a run for the lead again.
He makes that 3 wide, coming up right to the back bumper of the woman who wrecked him a week before. Puts her to the outside, but she's got more grip up there. Wow, there was contact there. He's letting her know, hey, I'm not giving you room. Nissa into the wall there, saw the sparks off the race car. Yoakum definitely paying that back, not giving her an inch. Goes to 2nd place. But the grip on the outside, though.
While they're fighting, the 88 is just driving away a little by little.
87 bump drafting the 10 through the front straightaway. They're locked in tandem. They got a lapper up here. I think that's the man. He is way off pace. That is the 77 actually of Jonathan Rains.
He was involved in that accident earlier.
He's got a pretty substantial amount of damage. Let's see where Yoakum chooses. He chooses the inside. Luis using him.
Basically, all he's doing is spreading out this first pack into the second pack.
Kind of is, which will be good for some of these drivers. It will allow them to re-catch up.
So far, it's helped out Thor. It looks like Weisbecker.
Keep in mind, Thor, who is now in the top 10, he started next to dead last this race.
39th.
He is currently riding in the 9th spot. That's impressive. He's got an average of more than 1 car left.
just brings another Dodge up front.
Man, they are dominating Michigan. Absolutely dominating this race. Six of the 10 cars in the top 10 belong to the Dodge garage. Southern Pride Racing has two of their cars right there. That is Andrew Weisbecker and Todd Steele, AAA cars.
Got a couple of Fords making their way up too, the 22 and the 72.
Yeah, not bad at all for them for such a rocky start to the race. They've made a nice rebound. Looks like they're the manufacturer to contest Dodge. Up here we have a Chevy of Ryan DeLusso and his Bass Pro Shops Tracker Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's been kind of working with the 10 car, trying to move their way back up again.
The 10 car and the 27 car have been side by side for like the past 7-8 laps. Those cars can really not seem to complete passes on each other. The 10 car, as I now announce this, finally does. '91 is pushing 27. But what a run on the top lane. It looks like some of these drivers are really starting to figure out the top lane has got grip. It's finally starting to come into play. You saw how fast the 87 was able to just move around the 10 car like that. And here comes the 9 car being cycled through around again. However, we are under a caution flag. Not sure as to who was the culprit, but we will find out.
Maybe it was just debris.
I see some dirt.
Somebody went through the grass.
There we go. We have a spin right there across the front. And it looks like Brett Pritchard, looks like the 83 was trying to hook up with the 51. And looks like they locked bumpers and 51 just got spun around. Very good job for Brett for keeping that car from not being hit or ran over by anybody.
Yeah, definitely something that could have been a lot worse than what actually was.
Yes, so that's a lot better than what we were thinking it would be. But here's the issue, though, is this will reset the field for the restart, which means whoever can launch it into the first corner on the outside has a good opportunity for running for the lead, which is the 60 car's current position. Coming up at the halfway mark, we will reach this under yellow flag, which means Titus will get a bonus point under yellow.
It's definitely going to help him try to get into the chase.
Only 2 cars out so far. That is Elusive Man's 28 for Manco Motorsports and the number 95 of Edward Manning. Cars laps down is the 77 of Jonathan Rains and Benjamin Thomas in the number 9 car in the 38th spot. 36 cars. Actually, we just got word that there was a tire failure to the 87 car of Luis McClure from Western Auto Racing. That's our first mechanical failure. He will default to 38th for tonight's finish. That definitely means he is confirmed out of the chase. So we have then 35 cars on the lead lap, 37 on track, which is actually pretty good for our series.
Yeah, especially how close all these cars have been racing too.
We've been fortunate tonight to have a very nice, clean event, which I'm sure teams and manufacturers are happy for after the demolition derby, but very good demolition derby we had last week. What a show that we had put on.
Definitely one of the probably best dirt races we've had in a while.
Probably the best since we went to that little quarter mile at Myrtle Beach in the Valvoline Pro Series. That was our first heat race event. We were given the Dodge one to go signal, those 2 wrecked machines. It looks like they finally got some repairs made to Benjamin's car, but man, Reigns' car is a mess.
Yeah, I still think both of them are just going to be too slow to really keep up with anything.
Definitely will. And also some things to keep in mind as we're getting prepared to head into the chase. You'll see these cars looking a tad bit different. Some things you may notice is different contingency decals will be placed on the sides of the race cars. Spoiler colors will be tailored to the lime Dayglow color. The roofs of the cars will be a brighter blue against that lime color. They also will be sporting a different windshield banner, and I think we had something else, different splitter color will be on all cars participating in the chase event that will happen at the first race at Homestead Miami Speedway in a couple weeks. Titus trying to join that will start off the field as we head back to green. Deluso getting pushed by the 10 on the outside. They're going to try and make the pass here heading into 1. This is the opportunity. Not enough speed to the 60. He has to fall back, but that allows Yoakum to move into second.
And here comes JR Lemon in the 5 car.
He's had lots of speed tonight. He's been leading. He's trying to work his way back into the top 5. Looks like Keith Motorsports finally got that car figured out. Sixty's got his speed back up. He's looking to the outside of the 10. Salmon hooks up again with Anissa Johnson. Those 2 drivers racing, pushing.
It looks like that 60's really quick in spurts.
Under yellow again. Looks like we had some cars get wadded up. That is the 55 car of Russ Blackwell that you are seeing. This is the guy who started on the pole. He gets turned around by the number 93 Fords have been the ones initiating wrecks tonight.
And it looks like they had an issue with the 9 car again in front of them, though.
Yes, going through the grass, that is Benjamin Thomas. he was tapped by the number 99 just because, I assume because of the speed difference. Good save by both drivers, keeping it together. No cars entirely damaged from this. Xavier moved up quite a bit for making it back to the green flag, making it back to the caution flag.
Line them back up and do it again.
Exactly. Titus, I'm sure, is feeling pretty happy right now, getting a nice chunk of points. He's fighting to get himself into the chase right now.
And I think if he wins this, it pretty much almost guarantees him a spot.
I think it would solidify him a spot if he won this race. And if not, if he wins this and has at least a decent finish next week, he should be able to make it in. And of course, next week we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where it's going to come down to basically who can keep their equipment running. It's going to be the endurance race. The issue with this is the drivers will run their equipment into the ground early on. We see lots of engine failures towards the end of the race, transmissions giving out, tires failing, and it just becomes a hassle. I mean, the last time we did this, we ended up with less than half the field just because of the equipment failures. It's a testament as to who can build the best car, which is why we have this be the cutoff to the chase, because you should have worthy equipment running in there. I'll be correct.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be able to just see who can take care of their stuff the best.
Less than 20 laps to go at Michigan International Speedway. Titus Stroglabber leading this race with Xavier starting in second. DeLusso in the 60 tracker boats Chevy is behind them with Austin Yoakum in the 10. And your top 5 is rounded out with Western Auto Racing's Anissa Johnson in the 27 Dodge. Then on a wreck-filled race by Fords with single car spins, we had an early wreck which crashed a couple of race cars. We've had a single tire failure delivered from the 87 car. The 55 and the 79 have both left the racing circuit. For an unknown reason, we also have a 51 Brett Pritchard, who has also left the race. He is not too concerned. He's locked into the chase. I'm pretty sure they just didn't want to end up destroying that race car.
Especially after last week.
Yes, I mean, if something's not acting right, they know they're locked in. Might as well just take the hit. Just focus into the next race. That's the one you want to keep the equipment running. Let's not wear out that motor and risk it blowing. They will restack up those two cars. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. The question is who can beat Dodge today?
I think the only people that can beat Dodge is Dodge themselves.
Just like what happened when we went to California last time, Dodge dominated the West Coast swing, and they had a double event win. Who won that second event? It was Titus, who is now leading this race after a Dodge won the week prior. Quick note, that is the 72 car of Kenny Mamburra, who's pulled down to the bottom portion of the racetrack. He is currently scored in the 12th spot, but is moving back rapidly for a possible thing. He might be out of fuel, Connor.
Or it could even be, just a loose wheel or something.
That'll be interesting to see. We'll have to figure out what's gone wrong with his car. We're going to get ready to take the green flag, though. Pace car will duck down the pit road as we enter through the trioval. The 88s controlling it, fans on their feet. We got less than 20 laps to go. Let's see who can win this thing. Green flag is back in the air at Michigan.
They're just currently working their way around the slower cars.
Smart call by Xavier. He knows he's not going to get into the chase. He entered the season too late. He held the field up for Titus.
A little bit of dodge helping dodge right there.
Mr. Johnson pushing Yoakum through the corner. 60 moves around him. The 3 wide towards the back of the pack. 72 car is still on pit road. I talked about him having a fast car. Look who's finally reached the top 15 again. That is Ottermeyer, the 29 car. That car is booking it too.
Still has to get around that 77 though.
That would be an interesting factor. He needs to try and hook it to the outside. While this is going on, we've got a battle for the lead. The 86 is peeking to the outside. That allowed the Lusso to come to the inside.
Titus is just really good at blocking.
He has. He's been able to make that car be like 3 lanes wide. He has got them both blocked and staying behind him. We're driving. Vickers also now in the top 10. He's moving up. Keep an eye on him. He's moving up with JR11. Yoakum falling back. And there goes Xavier to the inside, trying to go for the lead. Not a lot of grip towards the inside, though.
And here comes Salmon.
Fishin moves by Salmon. He is able to keep that thing afloat. And move it up. He is.
And the 60 car is just interesting because he's faster than everybody behind him, but can't get past the 88.
He just can't seem to get around him. Man, that 9 car is just horrendously off pace. I am surprised he's allowed to be racing around this track.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been parked yet.
72 had an engine failure. That's our first engine failure of the night. That is off of that Ford. Yoakum regaining grip has moved himself back up and into the top 5.
He's falling back again.
Oh, and with a tap from JR11, moved him out of the way, makes that 3 wide, but there's more grip up there. Yoakum hangs on to it and keeps it off the wall.
And it's like, 5 car moving the 10 up a little bit actually helped him.
Good speed out of that 5 car tonight. He is in the top 5 and with another Chevrolet. It is Chevy versus Dodge in the front of the field. Titus just hit the wall with Xavier moving him out of the way. But there's more grip on the outside, as we've mentioned multiple times tonight. Titus fighting on the outside. Alyssa throws the block to the 5.
He's going to stay in front of the 86.
A very good try. He almost had to wreck him. You could see the damage on the front bumper of the 86. It's got a little pivot in the middle of the nose from him trying to hit the 88 and get him out of the way. These drivers definitely trying all they can. It looks like they're just getting faster.
Oh yeah, they're moving now.
Lemon now moving into the top 3. He has gotten around Xavier. Xavier with that nose damage is actually hurting him, if you ask me. He is falling.
Yeah, I think he pretty much did everything he could to try to get that win.
Look out for J.R. Lemon going to the outside, blocked by the 88. He weasels his way to the outside, though. The 10 car to the back bumper of the 27. Those two are wrecking each other. Lemon is making the move for the lead. That is the 5 car J.R. Lemon leading at Michigan.
He's trying to sneak his way into the chase.
He sure has. Out of nowhere, within 10 laps to go, we have a new leader. They're 3 wide, a few lanes back behind them. People are now scrambling. This is the time to be made at a track like this. Anissa now looking to the outside, trying to make a Western Auto back-to-back finish. Can she hold to the outside to get around him? And she does. She now goes to the lead with Titus falling behind the 5. Another lead change. More Dodgers to follow suit. They are just attacking Lemon, entering this corner. Anissa checking out because of it. They are 3 wide. They are pushing the corner. Xavier trying to retain position, blocks Titus. That allowed Lemon to move around him. Lemon tries to go past on the inside, but with no grip, has to let off the gas. Almost comes to have a crash.
The 91's going to get around him.
That is Tim Salmon. He has not won a race, but he has always had a tremendous amount of speed. We've got a big pack here towards the end of this race right now. The 5 car almost making the move on the inside, but leaving the corner. This is going to have to run. They almost crashed in the middle part. That was the Lusso to 12.
Weisbecker and Keith have made their way up here.
They're 4 wide getting into this corner. A lot of grip lost in that 60 car. There's the 83 who has spun her car out earlier tonight. He's in the top 10. That top lane is really coming alive. We're seeing drivers who have not been up front at all this entire race. Keep and Ryan well timed. They are going to come up to the 9 car. What's going to happen when they try and pass Benjamin Thomas?
Probably a mess is what's going to happen.
Yeah. We're getting to a state where the next flag ends the race. He lets the Dodges go by with ease. He held up the top line, though, with the Fords and the Chevys. Lemon is able to escape. Titus escapes. But are they going to crash behind? Connor Meyer trying to move into the top 10 before the end of this race, being pushed by teammate Scott Vickers. They've got a pack on the outside. They are trying hard and moving fast. He moves around the 16 to 00. That's going to help him out definitely with points. Back to the lead. Here comes the 86 of Xavier moving around Johnson. That is for the lead. They're going to re-bunch up before the end of this race again.
See, and the best thing for all those chasers without a win is for this 86 to win.
That is exactly what they need. For somebody who doesn't have a win and trying to retain the chase, you want somebody like that who is not going to be able to get into the chase to win this thing, which means they need the 86, the 83, the 91, those types of drivers who are all up here tonight to win this thing. But let's not keep out some drivers who still need wins. Alyssa Johnson, Titus needs a second win. J.R. Lemon is up there. The 35, Weathers is up there. Meyer is up there. All these guys can still be in it. But unfortunately, we've had a wreck. And that is the 93.
93.
With some heavy damage. Who I don't even think was the actual cause of this thing. I think somebody dumped the 9. And that's what happened. The 15 returns the favor to a Dodge after being decimated at Eldora, having to go to a backup car, wrecks the 9 car.
Just took out the nearest Dodge you could find.
So as we are pacing, the 86 car leads. As they catch the pace car that is a 27 behind. This is what the non-chasers needed. And man, we kept an eye on him ever since he popped up. That is out of Salvador Racing, and he's been a threat. Sure, it was Talladega for his first race, but he wins a heat during the Eldora race, and then he comes out here and he wins this one. I mean, that's fantastic for him.
Yeah, his first official top 5, top 10, and win now. All in the same race.
He just needs to keep this success rolling and stack this into next year. As predicted earlier, going back to back, Dodge has won. And even if he didn't, he's got a few behind him. They finished 1, 2, and 3. Another runner-up position for the 27 car. This is now the official white flag. How about the run for J.R. Lemon tonight, though?
Oh, he was up front all race. He managed to pass the 88, one of the few cars to do that. He kind of got stuck around all those other Dodges, and he didn't really stand a chance.
I mean, he gave it all. I mean, he tried multiple parts, until he, as essentially, just wore the tires out. So a great effort. How about Evan finishing 5th in that Rev Ford?
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. He was moving.
Reserved the car. Was involved in a caution earlier. Weathers had a nice finish to end that one out. Been a while since he's had a top 10. Yoakum as well. Connor Meyer finishing just outside the top 10 in 11th. Another Ford, the 22.
And the 12.
Not bad, not bad. Previous race winner Aaron Douglas finishing 16th. Gunderson getting a top 20 after starting nearly dead last. Pretty good race for these guys. And it is now going to be official. That is the 86 of Xavier winning at Michigan International Speedway. Alyssa Johnson, second, the same cars we just went through. That is your top 10.
It would have been interesting to see, though, what would have happened if it would have finished in the green.
I would be curious too as to how that race would have ended. I honestly think either Titus or JR would have came back to that one. Evan, though, with some insane speed, he could have even pulled that one off. He was booking it towards the end of that race.
Almost anybody in the top 10 could have won that one.
Yeah, they were shifting fast. I mean, this is why we go to these racetracks, the sister tracks of Auto Club in Michigan. This is why we keep returning. The way we have our aero package set up, it just puts on quite the show here. And that means we have one more race before we hit the chase. We will have 16 cars to start off initially. We will head to 5 different racetracks. When we head to our final track at Texas, we will cut the field down just a hair, and the cars will have a preliminary qualifying where they will draw for the starting positions. It'll be quite the interesting race. We're getting ready to head to our next few. What do you think of Dodge lately? Before we head to this beginning part of our chase, that they've been pretty dominant.
Yeah, I mean, they've done this before, winning back-to-back races, but then they kind of had a couple of rough stretches, and now they're winning again. So you gotta wonder if they're peaked, or if they can do this again in the chase.
They need to be able to, because it'll be very crucial to start off the chase out of Rocky Way. So they should hopefully hope that they get all the bugs out with Charlotte. But with that being said, a major congratulations to newcomer Xavier in the 86 Rear Camping World Dodge. Great job for the rest of the Dodge teams who absolutely dominated all week long, as well as the few Toyotas that tried to stick it to them and Chevys. We'll head to Charlotte, North Carolina next week to finish off our regular season, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for sticking with us, Connor.
Let's have a good one.